So with these events with our new timers, what we do is we like to invite an icon. And when the icon can't come at the last minute, we get someone who's already registered to be a rider, to be our icon, who's already an icon anyway. Now, for those of you who are new to my sense of humor, many of you know me, so I was told to apologize to Randburg, but we've ridden together many a time, so they do understand. Our icon is coming off the bench to be the icon this evening. Shaun Keeling, Olympic rower, please come and join us. And he said I'm allowed to introduce him that way.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the intro.
So, Shaun, you here as part of Easy Equities, you get the call to say?
We already called me on Tuesday, and he said Brayton's out. So I apologize to all of you. I hope I'm as interesting. I was really looking forward to listening to Brayton, but not really myself, but it's as entertaining as it can be.
And the other part, the work
yes.
part.
So of course, so I'm here, I was here representing Easy Equities, and it's a really cool story that I'll dive into on that. I mean, I got to know Rory, who Jeff was saying is an absolute legend of a gentleman. I met him at the Rio Olympics at the Oakley House, and when Rory heard my surname, he was like Keeling. And Rory's wife is Gillian Stannis, I'm sure most of you know. They lived across the road from my house. I was born in Krugersdorp, so we go quite way back, which is very cool. And Rory is obviously on the Comrades Marathon Association board, and my good mate and one of the guys I work with, our chief marketing officer, is also on the board, Coral Malta, and that is how sponsorship also took place. So it is really, really lucky to be here. And if any of you aren't any clients or have any questions, please ask me any questions later on. Tomorrow on the ride over beers, which I am quite fond of.
So Shaun, we are very excited to have you here. Please welcome him on the stage. We don't mind that you're substituting for Brayton. So I'll facilitate the panel discussion, but you saw how freestyle we go here. So at any time you want to ask a question, don't shout out like Randburg. Randburg's the only one that's allowed to shout out. You just put your hand up. We've got a team that will notify me, and then we'll get the mic to you. Shaun, you don't mind getting questions randomly from the audience?
I have a 3-year-old son, so I'm good.
So you're used to 100 questions a day. Let's start with your story. You started rowing at 16 at high school?
I started rowing before I went to King Edward VII School in Joburg. So I started rowing just before I went to school. I was going to boarding, so I started rowing to make some friends. So I didn't just lurk when I went to hostel, and I loved it. I loved it from the beginning. The camaraderie, how hard the sport is, just the feel of it. I mean, I know I've met one rower tonight, Rich, who used to row for Florida, which is amazing. So maybe he'll understand, and some of you maybe have rowed on the rowing machines in the gym, which can be quite tough. But rowing is not only tough, I mean, physically it's very hard, but when you combine the physical side and the technical side, it's just a beautiful sport that you get like a bubbling feeling under the boat. And when you feel that sensation, you just want more and more and more. And I'm sure we all experience it in different aspects of life, but that's the part I love, and the part you're always trying to find in a rowing race. And we did find some of it in Rio, obviously, because we did reasonably well, but we always want more.
Let's talk about the Olympics. What's that mental fuel that gets you going and keeps that resilience going? Because you missed out narrowly on the London Olympics. What gets you picking up and going, okay, I'm going to have another 4 years to try and get there?
Yeah, so and even going back to that, so I was very fortunate enough to go to the Beijing Olympics, and my mate that I rowed with, Ramon Clemente, had won a bronze medal in Athens in the 2004 Olympics, and his mate got a back injury, so I was pulled into the boat at 21, and it was a phenomenal experience to row in an Olympics, and we did reasonably well coming in 5th. So I thought, it's my time to shine now. I'm really going to move on and do well, and I narrowly missed out on going to London. But it's a cycle, it's a long-term thing. I mean, the Olympics comes once every 4 years for some people like me, the 8 years. So it's just something that you've got to make sure that on the day you make it happen, because you can't wait another 4 years to make it happen. But it is something that you train for every single day of your life. We trained at River Plot Dam in Pretoria, and nothing changes in the rowing race. You have your lane, you're watching the oak in front of you or behind you, following you, and you just got to take, not focus on the other groups and put everything into your lane. So nothing really changes except you might look up at in Rio across the redeemer and be like, well, I'm really here today, and this is really happening. And guys in the lanes next to you have a black tri-suit or a white tri-suit, but you just got to row your own race and make sure that you can put everything out there. For us, my mate I rode with, and if anyone on the ride tomorrow, he's got an amazing story. I rode with a guy called Lawrence Britton, and Lawrence, in 20, and he unfortunately couldn't be here today either. He's got a nappy bra for his first year born on Saturday. Even though I was trying to get him to come ride tomorrow and then drive back, but I think his wife would have killed him. He was diagnosed with cancer in 2014. Stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and his journey to be in the boat and win the medal is absolutely amazing. So again, if anyone's got questions about Laurie and how he did it, and just what I mean, sometimes I think I'm a stubborn human, but Alec is hard-nosed and very stubborn, so it's just amazing to call him my mate. I'm losing my track of thought, but we went through lots of disappointments, losses and not going to it. So those losses always urge you on, spur you on to try and make it rain when you get the chance. And we took our chance, which can boil down to every time we had lost. And I think that's what was special between us to make it happen. I mean, I'm not going to go through the race, but I remember one time during the race, we came up the blocks in the lead, and during the halfway mark, some of the other competitors passed us. We were lying in 5th place, and Lawrence said one word to me at the halfway mark. He called to me, he said, "Believe." And that word just encompassed all the times we had missed out, all the little mistakes we had made, the losses we had made. And we pulled it together and got that bubbling sensation that I sort of spoke about, and came back into the game. And didn't overtake the bloody Kiwis who won, but we got second. And that was very special. Coming to that, and when you were the little kid dreaming about being the best, going to World Championships. Congratulations to both of you, by the way. It's like you dream about it, and to be in that moment, it's truly, like, you can't put it into words. It just comes crashing in on you. You're trying to hug your mate, not fall out the boat, try and breathe, find something. So it's truly very special.
Where's the medal? Where's the medal now?
Under the lemon tree. It's in my cupboard because, and my wife actually said, "Why don't you bring it?" And I thought, I should have probably actually done that. But we both, Lawrence and I, keep it out so that we can show people, because that's what it's about. To say that you can achieve it. It's not something that's unachievable if you believe in yourself and you dream big and you keep on it, because you have disappointments. You can achieve anything. So it's there. It's around.
Let's talk about the journey to get there. I mean, it wasn't easy. Finding sponsors, getting onto that starting block, that whole journey. Talk us through what was going on behind the scenes when you weren't training, trying to find the sponsors, trying to get there.
So it's an interesting aspect. I mean, rowing is done relatively well in terms of an Olympic level at South Africa. I mean, if we think about the medals that South Africa has won across the years, athletics and swimming, obviously. But rowing is the next one. We've got a gold, a silver, and a bronze at the Olympic Games. So every year we do well. Every year we have a good history in rowing at the Olympics. But we're not a massive sport otherwise, and we don't have many funders. We have a few guys that do help out. We had Hollard previously, and now we've got R&D, which is it just helps us get from point to point. But as an athlete, you don't make money rowing. You're living month to month to get a stipend from the government, which just make it. But you're there, but you understand it. And I'm not saying that as a stop story. You understand that you're there to achieve a goal, and that is to win a medal, and that's what you try and do to get that is what's special.
After getting that medal, what was that feeling like coming back to South Africa and then deciding what's next for your career?
So I knew going into Rio that I was going to retire. So I won my medal at 29. I had a few, I went to Beijing at 21, so, and not going to London at 25, I was already, a lot of my mates started working and was starting to earn money, and at 29, I knew it's nothing, I'd have to start from scratch. I was hoping, obviously, to come with some gong to help me get in the door somewhere, but I didn't know. So I also dealt with a lot of injuries. I had 5 operations, tendonitis, tendons tore off. It's part of sport. So I knew I couldn't carry on forever. It was a time limited thing. Also, I wanted to marry my then girlfriend, start a family, make money to, so I knew it was going to end, so finishing across that line with getting it was special. And then coming home, trying to figure out what to do, was obviously, everyone looking back, it's a difficult time. That's actually when I started working for Easy Equity. So I've only actually ever had one real job after rowing. So the company between it is really special.
And at this point, I'd like to open the floor at any time. Anyone got a question? Because I have a lot of questions still. Here we go. Alicia and then Rory.
Hi, Shaun. You spoke about the bubbling sensation under the. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What's that all about?
So, yeah. So we obviously run on water. So and I don't mean that we run on water, and then the boat almost. So when it comes out the boat, it's at the water, like when you do it while it like surges and then flows on top of the water, and you get this like feeling of the bubbles under the boat moving faster and faster, and the boat's almost flying along. So I'm a very technical-minded person when it comes to rowing. Everyone has a different aspect of skinning the cat, and as I said, it's a very physically hard sport. But when you combine the technical element and you get that like flowing movement, and you hold onto that feeling, you produce the speed that's just like bubbling. Racing and rowing is all about momentum shifts and gains. So obviously, when you're up on other crews, it's mentally very easy. But when they start coming back on you, it becomes mentally very hard. And then you slip into those dark places, those dark thoughts that come into your mind, like, I've made an Olympic final, that's cool. But those thoughts stop you from doing better and winning a medal. So when you hold on to those feelings that you have in training of the boat bubbling along, you know that speed is good, and that no matter what the other crews are doing, you'll be able to stay with them and move through them when they go past their bushes. So that's sort of what I revolve around when I get that feeling.
Thank you.
Rory.
Shaun, first of all, I want to commend you and Lawrence for fronting up wearing those horrendous Gupta tracksuits on the podium. Horrendous. And I didn't use those photos when we publicized you. I jest. How long exactly before the final of the 2016 Cox's Pairs did Lawrence finish chemo?
So Laurie got diagnosed in the September. He raced world champs in the September of 2014, and then he was diagnosed. He tried to go to boat race for Tux, which was in the October. Studio boat race. So he got diagnosed in October, just after that, and then you had chemo until the March of 2015. So 60 maths, roughly a 6 months course. And then he actually, and I remember him at the time, we joke about it, I mean, he was fat and pasty and bald, and he couldn't even row up the slide, couldn't even row half slides. And he turned himself around with the commitment and belief to make it happen. And he's absolutely incredible story. He's as tough as nails. He actually was trying to get me to have too many beers last time. I told him I'm coming here to talk about you, so we'll stop. Yeah.
Why do you think rowing doesn't have the same status as any of our other Springbok sports, let me not say Springbok sports, the top sports? Does it? I mean, and do you as ex-rowers or rowers that have been on the world stage or been close to the world stage, keep a camaraderie between yourselves? Why do we not hear of rowing like we hear of any of our other sports? Is that because the government is not enough governing body that's controlling this, or why is it? Because the more we speak to people, he's like ex-rower, what can you best on? These kind of guys, and you think these are the chaps, they've all got a story to tell, but it's never really made it sort of mainstream.
I think one of the fundamental problems is TV rights, and the rowing course is 2 kilometers long, so we struggle with streaming and showing people the sport. And it's something we're fighting. So you talk about ex-rowers. I'm on our international commission, which is our selection panel for how we go forward and behind the scenes of all the national representatives. And we're trying a variety of ways to raise funds and keep funds going. We formed through things which is like a monthly donator thing to try and raise money to make sure that we can go on camps, go overseas, and trying other aspects. So there's lots of the old rowers we weird people, and we obviously are thick as thieves, so we do try a lot of things internally, and it's one of the things exactly as you're saying, we're trying to get the message out more, and maybe we need to try different angles to do it. So if anyone has ideas, I mean, of course, I'm always open to listen. But I think it's just into going back to the sport, we don't get enough airtime in South Africa as other sports do, and it's when only certain schools do it, only like big boys and girls schools, and it's an expensive sport. Boat is expensive and they break quite easily. So to maintain equipment is hard, and you can't row everywhere. You've got to go to certain places to row. So the biggest venue for us in Gauteng's Riverplat Dam in Pretoria, and then you've got to have a bus every day to get to Riverplat Dam and back. So it's a cost for the parents and the schools, and that makes it an elite sport, which is half the problem. So there's lots of development places that we're trying to make sure we bring up people and make sure they learn about the sport, but our funnel only starts in a small place to expand.
And just to reiterate what Shaun was saying, I was speaking to some of the rowing parents in Cape Town. They've got nowhere to row. So it's, as you say, to find a location, that's one of the big things. Jeff, sorry.
Quality. Sorry.
No, so if you think about Johannesburg and a lot of us, we row at VRC, Germiston Lake. You can row at Wimmerpan, otherwise you go to Pretoria. And VLC is 1 kilometer long, the course. Wimmerpan is 702 meters, so you can't really train. An Olympic rowing course is 2Ks, and we row at school level after 16 at 2K. So you need a longer stretch of water to row. And our most rowable piece of water is up here in Cape Town. It's very windy. Other courses are very windy, so you can't row all the time. It makes it difficult.
Shaun, lovely to meet you. Thanks for joining us. I want to just explore a little bit of those dark moments, those pain moments, because I think rowing is known to be the sport kind of pound for pound that has probably the highest threshold of pain that's required to achieve success. And I was fortunate to listen to and hear Eliud Kipchoge speak about his success, and he says success lies at the apex of pain. So it's in those dark moments that success lies. So what do you hold on to? What do you believe into? What is in you that allows you to sort of break through those moments and achieve the successes you have?
I think that's a really interesting question, and I think that goes down to how you are made, I suppose, or what you are. I mean, you train it. We train it all the time, all your sessions. You're always pushing the limit, and in that limit, pushing the limit again to go further. If you've done a 2K ergo trial, you'll see how hard it is to row, and then trying to better that time all the time. But to me, it comes down to the training and making sure that in the training, when it is tough, that you are really pushing that limit. We can always say tomorrow, oh, this fit is tough, it's hard, but how hard is it? How far can you push yourself? Because when it comes to race day, that whatever you've done in training, that's it. You can't find more, do more, make more when you're in that position on the boat. It's there. You've built up your training to that point. So whether that point is pushing through the pain, trying to find more, you can't find more on the day. So your repertoire is there. And then it also comes down to how much you want it. And that's a silly thing to say, because we'll all be like, no, you want it. But you get to that start line, and you are shitting yourself for what is coming. Never mind the pain, but this is your one shot. And a lot of folks overshoot that mark with their nerves, with whatever it is. It becomes too big. The situation becomes too big. So you've got to get that balance of, this is it. This is my shot. And it's just a normal day. I can only do my best, plus maybe I can squeeze out 1% to get a little bit better. But you've got to train for that moment. And then when I talk about that belief call in the race, it's, be it whatever circumstance, and I'm not saying this as I think sport and life is unfair. We missed out. We missed out on a few opportunities, whether we narrowly missed out, it was our fault, not our fault. We missed out on things. And you've got to make it happen that you don't miss out. Be good enough. Make sure the mindset is right to not miss out. So when we had that call, we knew we were just losing positioning and time, and if we didn't shift then to right on the front foot, we were going to lose it. So to me, it's an accumulation of training, pushing yourself, making sure you turn it on at the right time, you're in the right mindset, you're on the front foot all the time to make sure that you're there to win. And if you start having, those negative thoughts, it's not only the negative thoughts in the race. You go to the Olympics, it's amazing. The village is cool, the people are cool, you're around Kipchoge. We saw him in the lift in the apartment we stayed. You almost want to be like, sorry sir, what floor are you on? Go first, because they are your hero, but you can get swept along in all of that. And if you get swept along too far, you can't go back. So it is just that mindset all the time, being in the zone, making sure you're enjoying parts of it, but always in it, always on it, and relying on your training and making sure that you get it on the day, in the moment.
You mentioned the nerves on that start line. How do you settle those nerves? Because we already know how you're trying to quiet those voices, but the nerves.
Yeah, you're like a racehorse in a pen. You can't bolt, but just be ready. I think the thing is everyone has the nerves. The start line is deathly quiet. You can hear both Absa hitting their legs. They're like breathing in and out. So I remember there's the little stakehold guys holding the boat on the jetty, and you drink your bottle, and obviously, you want to get rid of like 10 milliliters because that's going to weigh you down. It's a psychological thing, but they have little nets, and I try and chuck my bottle, get it in his net, and you feel like it's just the small things that settle you. Again, it's just small things that make sure you're back in the zone, but it's again, you go, I tell myself on the line, I want this, yeah, because I want this, I've trained for years for this is why I'm here, because again, it just becomes this, everyone's got their own ways to get used to it. I used to read a book, listen to some music in the warm-up. We used that, and going back on nerves, we got to the course 2 hours before because we had traffic, it's a dog show, to make sure that we didn't miss it. Then you sit there trying to read your book and your nerves are all over the place. Then you start warming up and you calm down because you're actually doing a motion that you used to do. Then you talk to the coach again and just all over the place again, like start planning, and then you row on the course and you calm down again. So it's training all the races you've done in prep to know that your nerves are there. It's different for everyone.
You're also a keynote speaker, doing a lot of speaking to a lot of corporates, to a lot of schools. What's that one key message from that race day that you carry through and use to inspire?
That same word, belief. If you believe in yourself and you want to achieve something, you can achieve it no matter what. And it doesn't matter whatever it is. You want to be an Olympic gold medalist, you want to be a doctor, you want to be whatever it is, you can achieve anything. And that's what the key part is.
That word, belief. Any more questions? Well, we're going to end it there, but I know there's going to be lots of questions because people are a little bit shy now. But when you're on the bike tour, because this is your first icons, isn't it?
Yeah, the first 3 days when I've done
First 3 days, yeah, so you know people are going to ask the questions on the route. Which group are you going? In the milkshake group or are you in the...
And I have to start in the...
You have to start in
I have to at least pretend to be an athlete.
And quickly before I let you go, because tomorrow's not really a race for you, it's a participation, but do you have any rituals that you used to follow before race day? Anything quirky that you used to do? Any meal plans you used to stick to?
I used to drink a lot of Coke, but I'll just make sure to take some of that on the ride tomorrow. No real visualize beforehand. Maybe I'll just have a few beers to calm down tonight.
Okay, so now, an advice for any of the front brigade when those nerves come in tomorrow on the tracks? Any advice for them?
Enjoy it, because that's what it's about. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. It's these times, the rowing and that is so fleeting, and that's what I try and tell all the young rowers. Just enjoy it. You're there. It seems tough, it's hard, but that's why we do it, to enjoy it, and we love it. So if we can always remember that, then that's what we count. So yeah,